On the path to United States in Malaysia, I got arrested because of the
illegal passport.
Yeah, and then I ended up in jail. And during this time, when I'm doing that, I have an encounter with a spirit, a demonic spirit, that comes into a room as I'm meditating in the Quran, and I'm like, no problem. Allahu Akbar. Allah is great, and I'm gonna, say the name of Allah, and he's gonna run away. We'll go, and didn't.
It didn't
came closer. And the moment I said, God help me, I said it in Farsi, Khuda, the Alpha, so. And the moment I said that, I heard a voice, an audible voice, like you hear my voice. And the voice said, bring the name of Jesus.
Hai, ini gua Daniel Tetangga Kamu. Yuk kita mulai. AFSHIN, when you went to the US,
Yeah.
you were sent when you
I came out.
You came
went
out,
to
yeah.
Pakistan.
Okay.
From Pakistan, I acquired some illegal passports, 30 of them, and went to Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah, and so.
Oh, so you never end up to the US?
Yeah, on the path to United States in Malaysia, I got arrested because of the
illegal passport.
Yeah. So, and or not having legal documents, actually.
Okay.
So, and then I ended up in jail, and then in jail they found out that I'm a Muslim, and I'm quite studied in Islam. I had studied Islam for 12 years. So they asked me to become the leader in the mosque.
Wow.
So to teach, because I could read Arabic, I could teach it and everything. So I started doing that. I was praying and fasting and everything else. And during this time, when I'm doing that, and so I have an encounter with a spirit, a demonic spirit, that comes into a room as I'm meditating in the Quran, and I'm like, no problem. Allahu Akbar. Allah is great, and I'm gonna, say the name of Allah, and he's gonna run away.
Yeah.
And so I say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. We'll go, and didn't.
It didn't
came closer.
Okay.
And I was like, what? Oh, I should say my shahada, that I believe in Islam. So I believe in Prophet Allah and Prophet Muhammad and so on and so forth. It came closer. I started reading and reciting the Quran. It came closer. At this point, I was feeling like someone is like choking me, but from inside. And I couldn't breathe. And at that point, I was like, God help me. And the moment I said, God help me, I said it in Farsi, Khuda, the Alpha, so. And the moment I said that, I heard a voice, an audible voice, like you hear my voice. And the voice said, bring the name of Jesus. And I didn't really think about it. I didn't ponder. I felt like someone is drowning and has offered me a rope. And I'm not going to be picky about the color. I just said,
you stick it.
Yeah, I just opened my mouth and I said, Jesus, if you are the truth, show me yourself. And before I was finished with that sentence, that spirit had ran away. Now, that wasn't a moment of celebration, but a confusion. Because, wait a minute, Jesus is a prophet. Allah is God. Allah is the greatest. Jesus is one of the 5 great prophets. But Allah, humanity. So how is it that this spirit is more afraid of the name of Jesus than the name of Allah?
Yeah.
And that was confusing to me. Then I remembered our teachers would say, never ask question. Because if you ask question, you go crazy or become an infidel. So I said, forget it. I want to forget tonight. Ever happened. In the morning, I gave the azan, I was the one that called. But as soon as I said Allahu Akbar, then I heard a voice this time inside me saying, then why would Jesus help you? And I jumped literally. And I was like, wait a minute. And I got so scared, I thought I should study more Quran. Because I have to fight this voice. And I should read the more Quran and this and that. And it didn't work because every time now I open the Quran, the name of Jesus jumps off of the pages.
Wow.
And I had never realized that the name of Jesus is mentioned more times in the Quran than the name of Prophet Muhammad.
Isa al-Masih.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like seeing all these things and I'm like, what's going on? What is going on? And it became so confusing. I just prayed and fasted and said, hey, God, there is one God, only one God. So if there is one God, so it's like a mountain. You may climb different way, but there is one God. So I said, show me the way, I will follow you. Show me the truth and I will believe. Whatever it is. And I prayed for that for 2 weeks. And I was hoping for some sort of a sign and nothing. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I was so frustrated because I had lost that intimacy with God because I wanted to pray. Before, at least, I didn't feel Him, but I had no doubt in me.
Yeah.
I had no questions in me. My only question that time was, is He pleased with me or not? But now I'm like, what is the truth? What does He want from me? And so before I knew the rules of Islam, and I said, these are the things He wants. But now, why would you confuse me with the name of Jesus? And then 2 weeks of prayer, nothing. And I got so mad at God. And I said, God, you know what? All my friends go have girlfriends, party. I pray.
Wow.
While they were doing these things, I read the Quran. My childhood, I wanted to serve you. I would just sit there for hours reading the Quran.
Wow.
I loved you.
Yeah.
And you are able to see my heart. What does it matter what name I called you? And if it does matter, then tell me. But you confused me with the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
And now you refuse to show me the way, the truth. So how do I do that? So from now on, I'm going to go live my own life. And when I die, if there is a God, if there is a judgment, they said, you are just. And if you are just, then you cannot judge me because this is your doing.
Wow.
And if you judge me for what you have done to me, then how can you call yourself just? And if you are not just, what does it matter if I follow you or not? You are an unjust God. And so at the end of that, I saw a man stood in front of me that beamed like light. And the moment I saw him, I knew he's holy and he's just. And I knew 2 things about myself, that I'm not holy, I'm not just. No matter how many good things I've done, no matter how much I have prayed, no matter how much I have fasted, how much I've read Quran, how much I have talked to God, I am not just or holy, but He is. So, and I thought to myself, you have questioned God, you have blasphemed, you have said you will decide for your life according to the Islamic theology. You have elevated yourself equal to God because you're a human being cannot decide to themselves. And if you're equal to God, then you have committed shirk, which is the unforgivable sin. Shirk is when you say Allah has a partner, someone equal.
Okay.
So I've committed that. Now I see this holy man standing there.
Wow.
God has come to kill me. And I ran to the corner, just put my head up in between my arms, and I just cried out, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. And no matter how many times I said, forgive me, I didn't think He will forgive me.
Yeah.
I had never seen God forgive. I mean, I had read the Quran. And there is no example. We say in the Quran, 114 times, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, who is most gracious, most merciful. But there is no story that somebody was a sinner and He forgave. No, we die, we wait for the day of judgment, Al-Qiyamah, the day that you are raised. And He will judge you. And only Allah knows. Allahu alam. Only Allah knows. So I had never known by example the forgiveness of Allah. So, and I needed that forgiveness then. I couldn't wait till the day of judgment. I felt like condemned right there.
Yeah.
And in the middle of that hopelessness, I felt a touch on my left shoulder, and the voice says, I forgive you. And I just felt like the words just went inside me, and instantly, instantly changed the direction, changed, and something just shifted, and all the things that I knew it's unholy was taken, all the guilt was taken, and I felt lighter, and I was like,
Wow.
I'm forgiven. And I was like, wait a minute, I know I am forgiven, but how can that be? Only God can forgive. He just forgave me. I feel forgiven, but in Islam, I have to wait till the day of judgment. He is God, but he's a different God than the one that I studied about. So I said, who are you that forgives me and I feel forgiven today? And he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I was like, wow, that means so much. I mean, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Teach me the right path, the straight path. But it's a direction. But he says, I am the way. I never thought the way is a person. We thought the way is a direction. I cried for about 2 hours, and he just stood there. And after 2 hours, he says, look up. And I look up and I see like a screen, and I see people of all nations and all ages and generations. And then I see their sin. And I said, whoa, I live among all these sinners. And he says, AFSHIN, how easy did I forgive you? And he says, I can forgive every one of them. But who's going to tell them? I said, I will. So I literally ran out of my cell, went to the mosque, which was in jail, which I was the leader of. And when I got there, everyone, oh, Brother AFSHIN, what are you going to teach us about the Quran, about the Hadith? I said, no, forget Allah, forget Muhammad, forget the Quran. I just saw Jesus Christ.